Hey there, welcome back to another installment of Physical Media Madness. And just like the last video, I got a lot to show you guys. Um I haven't been doing one of these every month now, so when I do eventually do another one, it's like a month's worth of titles that I've decided to add to my collection. Um This time around, I actually have a lot of DVDs. I also have some Blu-rays and 4Ks, but I actually have a lot of DVDs. And the reason for that is because there's some television shows that I wanted to get for my collection and they aren't on Blu-ray. So honestly decided to bite the bullet and get them on DVD now while the prices were still pretty cheap and pretty affordable on the resale market. And the rest of them is just stuff that I pre-ordered or stuff that I decided to find along my travels. First uh, title I'm going to start with is actually one of multiple TV series that I got on DVD, and it's The Greatest American Hero. Now, I used to watch this show on TV, like reruns, I think on Sci-Fi Channel or another network. And of course, you know, you have the iconic song, Believe It or Not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. So, I definitely enjoy this show, and it's not on Blu-ray, and there's other DVD releases, but Anchor Bay is king. Anchor Bay did an amazing job with their television show releases. This is just one instance out of many, and they honestly look great up converted to HD or 4K because of just how high quality of releases they were by Anchor Bay. Because there's other releases you can get that are cheaper. Well, not necessarily cheaper, but like just all in one set, and they're garbage, and they don't even have all the features. So that's season two, and here is season three of Greatest American Hero, the last season. And the next show I got is Jump 21 Jump Street. This is the entire series actually, and I decided to grab it because I found this set at a local Goodwill for cheap, and I was like, you know what? I've been curious about this show for a long time. I like the movies. I want to see what the show is about, and Anchor Bay did another great job with their release, and so I got the first season and decided to get all the rest, and I got a good deal on a lot that had all the rest of the seasons that I needed. So on eBay. So we got the second season of 21 Jump Street. We've got the third season of 21 Jump Street. We've got season 4. And it's not just the picture quality that's really good for, you know, Anchor Bay. It's also the just the presentation. Like they put a lot of time and effort and actually really legitimately worked hard to create some really nice looking sets. And I got some more stuff from Anchor Bay because I found a few seasons of this show at the same Goodwill, Highlander. So I decided to get the rest of the seasons because, you know, might as well. Uh, the one downside about these, though, is like, man, these take up a crazy amount of space because they're just really bulky and really heavy. But I mean, that means you get some good quality. You get good quality in terms of the transfers. You get good quality when it comes to the case, so it's going to last you a while. It's not going to be something that's flimsy and going to break easily. So that's season 2 of Highlander. Here's season 3. And I also have the other seasons. I just have to take some other DVDs down here. So we have season 4 of Highlander. And season 5. And the 6th and final season. So have those, and then I have some more TV series, and then like a couple other random standalone films that I got on DVD from a thrift store. I got Iron Man, the complete animated series that actually features the voice of Robert Hayes as Tony Stark. Got this short-lived 80s show, Stingray, which has honestly one of the coolest intros you will ever see for a television show. I've seen like a couple episodes. I didn't mind what I saw, so I wanted to get the complete series. I got War of the Worlds, the 80s show. This is the first season. And then this is the second season. It just calls it the final season, but it's season 2. And I got 3 seasons of Hunter. Now I know that there's more than 3 seasons, but Anchor Bay only did releases for seasons 1 through 3. So I decided, this is good enough to start with. Because I saw this at the local Goodwill, decided to grab it. And then at the same Goodwill, there was also the second season. And then I also picked up the 3rd season from eBay. So I like Fred Dryer. I don't mind him as an actor. I actually didn't mind Death Before Dishonor that he was in. And then the rest of these are just random stuff I got from a thrift store recently for like $1. Nightmare Boulevard, probably a piece of shit, but it was $1. The War of the Roses, I had a bootleg DVD, so I wanted to get the official release. And the Blu-ray is kind of hard to find, and I'm okay with the DVD. Topsy Turvy, because I actually kind of like films like this. It's kind of period piece movies. The Stick Up, mainly for the cast. I mean, James Spader is the star, and he's not a bad guy. And it's directed by Rowdy Harrington. And this documentary that I've been curious about for a long time, Project Grizzly, about this guy who builds a suit to withstand a grizzly bear attack. It's like a documentary, but it's also pretty humorous and comedic. Next up are a combination of Blu-rays and 4Ks that I got from various different labels, brick and mortar stores, online shops. The first handful I got here are all from Kino Lorber. Got Split Image, The Minus Man, The Beast. We got Cujo 4K. Got Red Dragon 4K. Got Rawhead Rex in 4K. And then the ones I have here are all from the Severin Halfway to Black Friday sale, I believe. So got the Theater Bazaar, because I'm a big fan of horror anthologies. And I only had this one on DVD. Burial Ground, another one I only had on DVD. We've got Satan's Slave. Day of the Animals. A Day of Judgment. I got this because of a recommendation from Dead Pit. This better be good. That's all I have to say. No, I'm just messing around. I also got Warriors of the Year 2072. I also got the Attic Expeditions. And the last one I got from that sale is Paggiani Horror. Now, all of these, just random stuff. Got from a local record shop and online. We got the Ninja 2 double feature Blu-ray. Got Tomorrowland. I got the first 3 Kung Fu Panda films, because I like animated movies, and I've heard of these, but I've never actually seen them. And honestly, Nostalgia Critic of all people did a really good video on these films that made me genuinely curious about watching them. And I got a good deal on them, so decided to grab them. The Kingdom. Also have The Getaway. Review this on my channel. It's a gem. Honestly recommend checking that one out sometime if you haven't had the opportunity to do so. This film, because it was like half off at a thrift store, and I've been curious about it ever since I saw the trailer when it came out, or before it came out. Like, there was a trailer for it before some other movie, and I laughed my ass off because I couldn't believe the title. So, Blood and Chocolate. The Adjustment Bureau, another film I enjoyed. I also did a review of that on my channel if you're curious about hearing my thoughts on it. The Land of Lost remake, which is actually a lot of fun. I would say it's honestly a bit of an underrated film, considering that nobody really talks about it. The Next 3 Days with Russell Crowe, and The Thing Blu-ray from Arrow Video. I have the film in 4K. I have the film on Laserdisc. I don't have the film on VHS or Beta, but I have it on Laserdisc, I have it in 4K, and I have it on regular Blu-ray. I actually have 2 copies of this on Blu-ray. The reason for that is because I have the Scream Factory release, because it has, I think, some exclusive features this one doesn't have. And the reason why I wanted to get this one is because it does have some exclusive features on it, and it has a different transfer than some of the other releases. And a better audio mix, a more consistent audio mix, to be more fair than the 4K release, because they kind of fucked up with that release. Now, speaking of Arrow, here's some more Arrow titles that I got. Silence of the Lambs. This is the 4K. This is interesting. So they have a slipcover, but it honestly feels pretty flimsy in comparison to some of the other stuff that they did, or they've done in the past. And then it just looks like this on the inside. And you got that for the regular disc, and it comes with like art cards and a booklet as well. The usual stuff. Comes to special editions. I like this film a lot, and I wanted to get what was honestly the more definitive 4K, because the Kino Lorber release, which I did have, but I ultimately sold it, it doesn't have the proper color timing for like the first 30 minutes of the film. So I definitely wanted to get like the proper color timing for this release. I mean, for that particular film. And then I also got The Last Starfighter, because Arrow had a recent sale, and I had some Arrow credits I needed to utilize, and I only had it on Blu-ray. And as you can see, pretty big fan, because I have the poster on my door, which is actually from the Blu-ray release of Last Starfighter. The rest of the 4K sets are right here. Yes, I did get the Hitcher. You could also see I put up the Hitcher art cards on my wall. So this doesn't have a couple of the art cards in it because I have them on my wall right now. But this is the release from Second Sight. This is a contender for release of the year. I mean, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous, beautiful looking set. Really high quality. Second Sight is just amazing. They do just killer work. And you have a copy of the script. And then you also have this like really thick hardcover book with like different essays and stuff. and making of material. So yeah, if you're a fan of The Hitcher, like this is like a must-have. I don't know if it's even in stock anymore. The limited edition. There is a regular bare bones release though from Warner. I think it's Warner that you can grab right now if you weren't able to get the special edition from Second Sight. Second Sight also has another version that's not limited that has all the features from the disc, but it doesn't include the limited edition contents. But yeah, there's a lot of features on this too, interviews with different cast and crew members, and just a really cool release. Another cool release that I cannot really complain about, and one that I honestly would say is definitely worth the wait, Trick or Treat. So this is the recent release. This actually came out very recently in late October. This is from Synapse and Red Shirt Pictures, and I gotta give it to Felsher and everyone who worked on this. This is a really nice release. It's already out of print though, at least this particular version. There is going to be a non-limited edition, just a regular edition coming out sometime next year. So if you weren't able to get your hands on a copy of this edition, you can get a copy of that edition in the future. So you got art cards, and a booklet for Synapse films, and then you've got, this is what the discs look like. I like that the CD looks like the record from the film. That's pretty cool. And then you got the 4K and a Blu-ray. So it comes with a 4K and a Blu-ray for the film, as well as, all the features and everything, which I haven't checked those out yet. But I did check out the transfer, and this is without a doubt like the best this film has ever looked. It's a really great looking transfer. So it's definitely worth the wait in that regard. And I'm also just going to save more of my thoughts on Trick or Treat for when I do a fan commentary in the near future. So be on the lookout for that. You also have this booklet, which has this artwork, which I think is honestly really cool. I think this is some pretty sick looking art. And, the booklet has, essays and photos and stuff like that. Here's a little bit that's actually by Felsher. So yeah, it's really cool. I know that there was multiple different covers. I went with this one because I just like the framing of it better. I think it's actually a pretty dang cool cover, but that's just me personally. I think some people aren't really fond of that one. A lot of people tend to gravitate more towards cover C, but I like that cover. In all honesty, I would have been fine with any of the covers because just having Trick or Treat in 4K and finally having it in a legitimate, good quality physical media release that isn't like some quasi bootleg release like the German release was. Like the previous release for Trick or Treat, it wasn't awful. It just wasn't great. Like the transfer was just adequate at best. And the sound mix in particular was awful. Like the sound mix sounded worse than the DVD, which was an absolute crime. Now, the rest of the stuff I have here is just more randomness. Predator 2 4K. I don't know if I showed this in another video or not. I don't think I did, but this is the only way you can get this film on a standalone 4K. You have to import it. You have to import it from overseas because the only other ways to get it is a part of the box set. And I personally just want Predator 2. I don't want Predator in 4K because I already have it, and I don't want the other two films. I just wanted the second film. So that's why I got it from eBay. This is another Severin release. This is Opera. Forgive the fingerprints. Apparently, this is one of those weird gloss covers that just leaves fingerprints everywhere. But this is their release of Opera, and I did get the replacement disc for this. The replacement disc is in this set. I mean, I have all of the other fancy releases of Dario Argento films in 4K, so I figured like I gotta get this as well. It also comes with a booklet, with exclusive writing and stuff like that about the movie. And to be honest, though, for how much this cost, this was really expensive. It kind of doesn't really feel like, I mean, for instance, in comparison to Second Sight or even the Trick or Treat release, it just kind of feels a little flimsy in your hand. But it's still good. It's still a good quality release. These are a couple releases from Umbrella. I wasn't able to show the last time around. I did a Physical Media Madness. This is the FP collection, and then I also got Sons of Steel. And these are just some 4Ks I got from vintage stock because they were cheap. Jigsaw for the Saw film collection. The Assassin's Creed film to upgrade my Blu-ray. And the first Sonic the Hedgehog, because I really enjoyed this one, and I did not have it in 4K. Now, more randomness, but most of these, a little over half of these, are going to be Scream Factory stuff. Now, this stack I have here I got from Hamilton Book because they had a really good sale on these, and these are actually ones that were out of print from Scream Factory. So I got the Manitou. This is a really trippy, bizarre, weird-ass movie. It's kind of film where it's like I almost want people to see that at least once because of how just strange it is. The Chosen, this film is not very good, but I want to give it another shot, and it was a good deal. Fright, Fear No Evil. I actually have some fun with this one. I think it makes a good double feature with Evil Speak. It really does. Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. Scars of Dracula. Horror of Frankenstein for the Hammer collection. Demons of the Mind. And Fear in the Night. Now, more randomness here from a local shop. Got Splinter. So I only had the DVD. This is honestly, in my opinion, this is a gem. Like, this is the film that's not talked about nearly enough, if you ask me. Like, it has a lot of gore, a lot of guts, really good practical effects, interesting plot. Like, yeah, Splinter is honestly a gem. Also got Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, another film I enjoy. Oz the Great and Powerful. Got this. This is the Scorpion King 5 movie collection because it was like super cheap. Harley Davidson, The Marlboro Man. The Ghost in the Darkness. This is actually brand new from a local shop, and I got it for like $5. And Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance. I saw this in the theater, actually. It was not good, but I wanted it for my Ghost Rider collection because I had the other Ghost Rider film on Blu-ray. And then just have one more stack here. Gods of Egypt. Yeah, I know it's a notorious bomb, but I like 4Ks. It does seem like a film that'll have some good visuals. So I think it's worth it. just for that, and it didn't cost me that much. Dune Part 2. This is still probably arguably my favorite film that I've seen this year, but I'm still working on watching more films that came out this year. So it could get knocked off. Uh Godzilla X Kong the New Empire, another film I actually enjoyed quite a bit. I mean, quite a bit, if I could speak, for what it was. That's just me. I know some people disagree, and that's fine. Um, got Escape from LA, the 4K, and I did the same thing that I did with the RoboCop 2 release, which I'm going to show you soon. I took the Shout Factory cover and I put it in there because I just think it looks a lot better than the generic cover art that was used for the DVD that they and the previous Blu-ray release, which they just copied over for the 4K, but I kept the slipcover. The House with a Clock in its walls. And speaking of RoboCop 2 4K, here it is. Here's the RoboCop 2 4K from Scream Factory. And then I used the collector's edition cover art because I like that red and black color scheme. And just got a few more here. Creepshow Season 4 for the Creepshow television series collection. I have the other 3 seasons. Civil War, another film I would probably say is one of my favorites that I saw this year, but because of recent events, is gonna I don't know if I want to watch it anytime soon. But it's still a great movie for what it was. I thought it was really good. I saw it in IMAX actually. Got this collection. It was on my wish list for a long time. Finally got a good deal on it. This is the Hammer Horror 8 film collection Blu-ray set. It's got Brides of Dracula, Curse of the Werewolf, Night Creatures, Phantom of the Opera, Paranoiac, Kiss of the Vampire, Nightmare, and The Evil of Frankenstein. And these are all the same titles that were part of that old DVD set that had the same 8 films from Universal, which I find kind of interesting. And the last one is the Steelbook of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. Got a good deal on it. I liked the film enough that I wanted to have it for the collection. I mean, I'm not a super big fan of Afterlife either, and I have that. To be honest, this Steelbook is not really that. I mean, I didn't really want the Steelbook, but it was the only version that I saw at the store that I was at, and it was actually a reasonable price. So I was like, okay, fine. But what I don't like about Steelbooks lately is that they don't have the cover. I mean, they don't have the title for the film on the front. Instead, they put it on this cheap slipcover, and if you don't keep it, then you don't get the title for the film on the cover art. I really don't understand this trend at all. I really don't get it. I think it's lazy. I think it's uninspired. This cover art, honestly, this steelbook art isn't really that great anyway. It just looks like some photoshopped laziness. The steelbook art for the Blu-ray was better than the 4K, but I had to get the 4K because I already had the other films in 4K. But anyway, yeah, that's it for the physical media showcase portion of the video. Now I'm just going to do a quick look at some of the upcoming titles from Dawn of the Discs again. So I know there's some new announcements from Scream Factory or Shout Factory. Vampires, John Carpenter's Vampires in 4K. That's cool, but I already have the Blu-ray and I think it looks pretty good, so I'm not really like crazy about the 4K. Sanctum in 4K. I'm like, Sanctum? Who even fucking remembers that movie, let alone wants that in 4K? Really? Sanctum? The Last Voyage of Demeter, okay. Alright, cool. And some Shaw Brothers classics set. A bunch of stuff where I'm like, I'm fine, I don't need it. That's really how I feel about the most recent announcements from Scream Factory or Shout Factory when it comes to their upcoming releases. Kino Lorber, a lot of re-releases again, but some of them I actually think are worth upgrading to 4K. Um, Sea of Love is getting a new HDR Dolby Vision remaster. And that's actually one of my favorite Al Pacino films, so I would definitely like to get that one of these days. Orca, though, even though it is a new remaster, like I'm okay with the Blu-ray that I got for that one. Body Parts with Jeff Fahey, which is a gem in my opinion. Really like that movie. It's getting a 4K from Kino. I definitely will probably upgrade my Blu-ray in the future, but I'm not in a rush. Same thing goes for April Fool's Day. Like both of those are going to be ones I'm going to wait till Kino has a sale, and I'm just going to get the 4Ks then. Or you know, if the price isn't too insane, I might get them locally. But those ones are releases that I'm definitely fine with. House MD, which is honestly a really great show. It's finally getting a Blu-ray release, but the price tag is ridiculous, really expensive. The underrated Gem and Reindeer Games, that's gonna get a 4K from Kino Lorber, which I'm looking forward to that, especially since it's gonna include the theatrical cut. Just continue to look here. Unearthed Films is gonna do a Blu-ray collector's edition of 100 Tears, that killer clown movie that Terrifier clearly was inspired by. That's honestly that's the film that more people need to see when it comes out so they can realize how unoriginal Terrifier is. Like Terrifier has this whole reputation of being this new original unique entry in the horror genre, and I'm like it's literally the same thing as something like Gutterballs or 100 Tears but with like a few tweaks here and there. Like a film that deals with graphic, intense violence, and the violent acts are being committed by a crazy clown is not a novel concept. It is not. Internal Affairs with Richard Gere and Andy Garcia, that's getting a 4K from Kino. I'm all right with the Blu-ray, to be honest. I don't really need a 4K of that. If the price is cheap enough, I might upgrade. Miracle Mile, which is an underrated cult classic, if you ask me, that's getting a collector's edition, special edition Blu-ray from Kino Lorber. But I think they already released that film previously, so I don't know if that's a new release or not. Arrow has announced some stuff like Incubus with William Shatner, Inglorious Bastards, and The Cell, which that one I'm curious about. I think that film could really dazzle in 4K. Disney has announced some overpriced steelbook 4K sets of Ashoka and Loki season 2 and Mandalorian season 3 and what is it, Hawkeye and yeah, or just Hawkeye, the complete first season. Bunch of Disney Plus shows. Don't care. Do not give a shit. I'm not paying those prices. And on that note, like Disney, what that $59.99 for Deadpool and Wolverine? Like I actually think it was more like $69.99 initially, and people paid it. And so because people paid that ridiculous sky high absurd price, now Disney is just going to price all their Steelbook 4Ks like that. If you are at any point complaining or upset that the prices are too high for these Steelbooks or for 4Ks in general, you have no one else to blame but yourself because you paid those prices. Like, for instance, Seinfeld has a 4K release, but it's like, I think the pre order is like $250. I love that show. It's one of my favorite sitcoms. I'm fine with my DVDs. I'm not going to pay $250 for a 4K set of Seinfeld. I'm not doing it. And what's frustrating is the film the film the show finally gets a Blu-ray release and it's not even the proper aspect ratio. The studio is basically like, "Oh yeah, by the way, if you buy the Blu-ray, you get the crop versions for 16:9." I'm like, "Why? Why do you not get the uncropped 4:3 original broadcast versions on Blu-ray? Why does it have to be a 4K only thing? That's really scummy of Sony. That's a really scummy thing to do. And I don't buy whatever excuse they might try to come up with. There have been so many shows that have been released on Blu-ray in the original aspect ratio. There's no reason that it has to be in 4K in order for it to be in 4:3. Give me a fucking break with that shit. Interesting. Blue Underground has mentioned they have plans to release both Inferno and Stage Fright in 4K, but they're having issues accessing the camera negatives for both of the films. I hope they get them because Argento's Inferno in particular is in dire need of a 4K. It's interesting though that they're having a hard time getting the negatives. There's a 35 millimeter fan restoration. Excuse me. Sorry, I got indigestion apparently just thinking about um, why so many of these releases have been stalled for so long. Not only Inferno, but like something like Day of the Dead. What is going on with that? Why don't we have a 4K of Day of the Dead? Seems like a no-brainer to me. But yeah, there is a 35 millimeter fan restoration of Inferno that's out there. Maybe Bill might want to contact them and see if they can get a hold of that print. I'm just saying. Seven's gonna get a 4K. I'm leery about this release, and here's why. I read that Fincher, he was gonna be using AI for this. He was gonna be using AI upscaling and doing the same shit that James Cameron did for Aliens and True Lies. I don't know if that's a rumor, but knowing that Fincher kind of is on that sort of same plane, it doesn't sound like much of a stretch. And the rumor was that the 4K was supposed to come out sometime last year or sometime this year, and it didn't come out because Fincher wanted to do some extra work with AI. So I'm hoping that's a lie, but I don't know. And I know the Terminator 4K came out recently. I don't need it. I don't want to see Cameron's DNR'd bullshit. Because I saw that somebody saw that version in the theater and he fucked it up again. So I don't want to see that. I'm gonna stick with my Blu-ray. Arrow's gonna be doing The Gift. Okay, cool. That's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good film. Trying to see what else. Oh, there's one more thing. I mean, The Usual Suspects, but like I'm all right. I don't need that one. I'm fine with the Blu-ray or the DVD I have of that one. I'm not even sure exactly which one I have of that one, to be honest. Um but in terms of any more upcoming releases, Disney's going to be doing Willow in 4K. And that's one that even if they do a steelbook that's limited, I'll pay the price cuz Willow, it's arguably my favorite fantasy film of all time. I love that movie. The 4K remaster that was on Disney Plus, or still, or might, I think it's still on Disney Plus, looks fantastic. It's got a good audio track too. So I'm looking forward to having that on disc. And if they use the original like poster art, I am all in on that one. Like I definitely want to get Willow, even if it doesn't even have new features. I'll take it. Even if it like just throws in like a free Blu-ray disc with the show, I'll be like, fine. I don't think I wanted that crap, but I'll take it. If it comes with the package, I'll pay for it. Cause I am absolutely going to have Willow in 4K. Um and then speaking of 4K upcoming potential releases, I've been hearing some stuff about Nightmare on Elm Street and the franchise in particular that sounds promising, but I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen with that. I think it's going to be a Warner Brothers release. I don't think they're going to be doing anything particularly different with it. I don't think they're gonna sell it to Arrow. I wish they would, but I don't think they will. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised sometime next year, but I think it's just gonna be another set like the Rocky 4K set. It's just gonna be directly sold by Warner Brothers. I mean, they did that for they already have released the first film in 4K. So I don't know why it would be an Arrow exclusive thing, knowing all the stuff that they've said to Shout Factory and Scream Factory over the years about it being an active franchise. Um, and before I go though, I forgot to talk about Vinegar Syndrome. They just announced some stuff for their Black Friday Flash pre-order stuff, and they announced Congo in 4K. I love Congo. It's a really fun film. I really enjoy it. However, the cover art they chose for it is shit. I'm sorry. It is shit. It is such a lazy, garbage looking cover. Like, there's so many covers they could have potentially gone with. There's a pinball machine, glass plate that has some really cool artwork they could have used. It would have been way better than whatever the hell this was. It just looks like, okay, it's just a really up close, zoomed in piece of art of the ape statue with like the flame in its eye. But the way that it's drawn, it looks like there's cum in the eye. What? And you're charging me pretty much $50 plus if you include shipping, because it's like even the pre-order, it wasn't saving you that much because it was like 42.99 or something. Right now it's on the site after their pre-order flash pre-order ended for like 45.99 or something. I mean, you barely saved anything. And on top of that, yeah, you get a new remaster and a new a print of it, which I'm looking forward to seeing somehow, some way. I have my ways, trust me. I'm not going to divulge them, but I'm just going to say I have my ways. Um, but the features are fine. They're okay, but there's not a lot of interviews. It just seems like a pretty high price for what you get, which doesn't seem like that much. It's better than the Blu-ray, but I mean, it just doesn't seem like a 42.99, 45.90, $50 4K release to me. It's better than Navy SEALs, but it still doesn't really seem like the type of film that I think would warrant that. I'm hoping it doesn't sell out. I'm gonna be tempted to get it during Black Friday, but I probably won't. I'm probably more than likely gonna maybe get maybe one or two things, and that's about it. And it has to be like a good deal. Like, I'm thinking about getting Deadpool and Wolverine on Amazon if it's like below or at like $20. But other than that, like, I really don't know of anything that I'm really gonna go crazy over. Because Congo I have on Blu-ray and it actually looks pretty good for an older transfer. And it's just one of those things where I gotta pick and choose. Gotta pick and choose my battles, so to speak. Pick and choose what title I want to get and what I want to fight for in terms of dealing with pre-orders and dealing with all of that. Like, I got to save up for whatever Vinegar Syndrome is going to do with the keep, because I know they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to do it for Black Friday. It kind of seems like they might not. But I got to save up for that because I'm not going to miss out on that. But like, there's just a bunch of stuff where I'm just like, I'm okay with what I have. I don't need anything additional. I don't need the upgrade. Um, and a lot of it is because I just flat out I can't do it. So that's really the reality of the situation. That's why I bought so many DVDs lately. Like, a lot of that stuff that you saw, the Blu-rays and 4K, that stuff I got like a couple months ago. The really the only 4Ks and stuff I've gotten recently is just the pre-orders, because I just don't, it's just not there. So I just go with, you know, the best deals, and the DVDs are really cheap. so I could still, scratch that physical media itch, so to speak, without breaking the bank. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. See ya.